Well, welcome to Baringo News. It is one of these shows that we are doing on the road. We are moving from one place to another to get the views of the mwananchi and of course the leadership of the county. And today we are looking at the continuous voter registration. And right now we are in Tiaty, and with us here is Mheshimiwa Kamket, the MP for Tiaty. He's a first-time MP, and looking at the progress of voter registration in his constituency, it is way higher than even the national average. One of the wards, which is Silale, is recording a high of 98%. And the question is, how are they managing to get such numbers when wards like Bartabwa, where one of the most vocal MCAs comes from, is recording a low of 13%? What could be the reason? And that's what we are going to look at tonight. Thank you and welcome. Mheshimiwa, karibu sana. And thank you for creating time that we can have this conversation. Ndio tuweze kujua Tiaty mbona iko mbele katika the process of voter registration. Looking at the numbers ya Baringo, Tiaty is at about 6,000 right now. It is at an average of 55%. When other constituencies like Baringo North and Eldama Ravine are struggling at 15-17%. Karibu kwanza, maybe you can introduce yourself, then we can have the conversation.
Do I need to introduce myself? I'm the member of parliament for Tiaty.
Maybe.
No, you said it yourself. I'm the member of parliament for Tiaty.
Well, karibu sana.
Mighty Tiaty.
Mighty Tiaty.
Yes.
All right. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Naendeleaje?
Tuko poa.
Naona...
In the circumstances.
Which circumstances again?
In the circumstances of drought, a little bit of harassment here and there, and deservedly. But we are keeping well. God is great.
That's great, even as we are doing fine. Now, we've seen the numbers. The numbers are growing. As of Monday, you were at 5,100 and something, and then the following day, it was at 5,600 and a few numbers on top. What is the secret behind these ballooning numbers of voters in Tiaty?
Well, first of all, personally, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that people are surprised. I'm surprised that people are surprised. But personally, as a resident of Tiaty and a person who is in position of power, I know what's going on in Tiaty.
Yeah.
Number one, it is expected, in my view.
Yeah.
Because first of all, the population of Tiaty is the highest in Baringo from the last census.
Yeah.
Those figures, even as we take them as the official figures, personally, as a person coming from Tiaty, I think the figures were a bit suppressed. Because from what we know and from what is going on, we know that Tiaty should have surpassed the 200,000 mark by now.
The population.
As
of 2019 census, we are at Tiaty is at 153,000.
Yes. So I'm saying those figures, in my view, are a bit suppressed for various reasons. I think there are places which are completely unreachable.
Yeah.
The census clerks were unable to reach those places, and so there's a lot of inaccessibility in terms of roads, and some of our people have migrated to Samburu County, others have migrated to Turkana County, but they are the people of Tiaty.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not surprised then, therefore, that we are recording these high figures in terms of voter registration, because one, there's a truism that we've been expecting would happen, and we've been proved right, that there is an explosive youth population in the country, and especially in places like Tiaty, where 90% of the population does not practice modern day family planning. And with improved health services, there is infant mortality rate has gone down to a great extent, and therefore there is an explosive youth population. That population is coming of age now.
Yeah.
And that population is a population that is that's taken their identification as Kenyans, and they're the ones now who have registered as new voters.
Yeah.
And then we have also, that is a truism that we've been expecting would happen, and it has come to pass. Two, we have done our part also as the leadership of Tiaty. We've moved around. We've not sat on our laurels. We've been moving up and down all over the constituency.
Yeah.
And we have been, I think people have responded in terms of sensitization.
And I think that is where we would dwell on, because you look at constituencies like Eldama Ravine, which has the second largest population after Tiaty in Baringo. It's recording a low of 17%. And when you talked about the population, I think it may not be so much about the population. Could it be, what is it really about the people of Tiaty getting more sensitization, unlike other people of Baringo County, or is it an exciting thing for these young people to obtain a voter's card and to participate in making a decision in their leadership?
I think it's a combination of both. It's a combination of an explosive youth population.
Yeah.
It's a combination of a lot of sensitization by us and even by the Commissioner IBC.
Yeah.
I must appreciate the officer on the ground and his team. And also what we have done, we must congratulate ourselves also as the leadership of Tiaty. And then there is that youthful exuberance of these young men and women who have acquired these new documents, national identification, and they are eager to exercise their civil duty.
Okay.
So I think it's a combination of a lot of factors.
Well,
and in spite of the fact also that there have been a lot of police operations in Tiaty, I think people have managed to develop a bit of resilience, because some of these operations are also quite unfair, because there is people are accused that all of you are bandits, yet we have it's a very huge population. A few criminals cause trouble here and there, and then the police come hard on the entire population. I think there is a bit of also a determination by the people to show the world that we are not who you think we are.
And I think we'll still come back to that. You've talked about the mobilization. How have you managed? You are the highest office. You're holding the highest office. You're the MP there, and the constituency has 7 wards. How have you managed to, or rather, what strategies did you put to ensure that you do proper mobilization to a level of achieving a 98% again as a target that has been placed by the IBC?
Simple. We are present on the ground.
Present on the ground.
Yes, we are present on the ground. Personally, I'm present in Tiaty every other weekend.
Yeah.
And even now, Parliament is on recess. I'm not going to Nairobi until this thing is done. So we are on the ground. We are on the go. We are talking to our people, and they are responding. And people desire to be led. People always desire to be shown the right way, and they urge you on when you're telling them the right things. They'll always urge you on, and they'll always do the right thing. And that's what we've been doing. We've been preaching peace amongst our people, tell them, let us live peacefully amongst our neighbors, and let us demonstrate to the entire world that Tiaty is actually indeed mighty Tiaty.
Well, you've heard. It's about the leaders of Tiaty being in touch with their people. Is your leader in touch with you? Maybe that's something that you need to really think about, because at the end of the day, if you look at the numbers, Tiaty is leading, and you've heard from the highest office holder, who is the MP for Tiaty, that is Mheshimiwa William Kamket, and he's saying that it is out of their close touch with the people of Tiaty that they have managed to do serious mobilization. Now, you are talking of being in touch. Does it mean also you as the leadership of Tiaty are speaking the same language that you've managed to mobilize such numbers?
I thought you, as a good student of history or political,
I'm not sure if I am. Yeah.
You must go back to the results of 2017 elections. You are aware that Tiaty is homogeneous politically.
True.
Okay, yeah. We are the only homogeneous constituency in terms of all elected leaders
coming from one party,
coming from Kanu, not just one party, coming from Kanu.
Yeah,
me as a member of parliament and all the 7 MCAs,
yes.
And we are all speaking the same language. We continue to do so up to now, and we will do the same in 2022. So we are very homogeneous politically. So we have no issue we have no competition amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
And the people have given us that we have absolute mandate from the population of Tiaty.
Well, to the next question, and I'm sure it is the elephant in the room and everybody would be wanting to hear that. What do these numbers mean? You have an additional 5,000 voters, which I know the number may even clock 7,000 by the end of this registration period, which will be ending on the 2nd of November 2021. What does this mean to the politics of Baringo?
Tiaty has always been the deciding factor in terms of the politics of Baringo. Any serious politician who is looking for a county position will always want to win Tiaty.
Sure.
Because we vote together
as a block.
And if you look at the figures, there are 3 county positions: the governor, the senator, and the women representative.
Yeah.
If you look at, if I may start with the last one, the women representative. By the time the elections were closing in 2017, the Honorable Gladwell, current women rep, was trailing.
True.
In larger Baringo. When Tiaty arrived, she won the seat.
Yeah.
So that has been because she Gladwell understood, and she came and joined with us, with my team, and understood that for you to win Baringo, you have to win Tiaty. And the same applies. Even although Senator's victory was overwhelming in the entire county, but indeed it is true that we contributed a lot in terms of the constituency of Tiaty.
Yeah.
Where I know was a bit of a split was on the governor. There was a bit of a split, but with those 2, it was always a block. So as it happened in 2017, we expect the same to happen in 2022. I expect the figures. This is massive. What do you call this one? This current voter registration is called. There's continuous voter registration, and there's this current one, enhanced voter registration, whatever name they give it. I believe that by the end of this deadline of Tuesday, maybe we'll have clocked 7,000 or more.
Yeah, based on the rate.
New voters.
Yeah,
but with continuous voter registration up to, I don't know, the deadline is March or when. We expect Tiaty to have hit 10,000 new voters. And you know, listen. We're doing this even in spite of the fact that the registration kits are shared and distances are far and wide. Do not forget also that Tiaty is half of Baringo County.
In terms of landmass?
In terms of landmass. Tiaty is 5,000 square kilometers. Baringo is 10,000.
Yeah.
So there are great distances also. So the sharing of kits is a problem.
Yeah.
If there was one kit per polling station, my friend, we would be talking about crazy figures here, because the people are there. The people are there, and we want to appreciate devolution. In as much as there are problems with the devolved health units, we believe they can do better. But the little they have achieved in the last 8 years or 9 years is indeed commendable in terms of saving the lives of infants.
Yeah.
And so that's why there is now the enhanced growth of population. By the way, the difference between you and me is that you have only one wife. And perhaps 2 children.
That's true.
With the Bible and family planning. Me, as a man from Tiaty, I have an average of 5 wives at my age. Several children, I will not tell you the number. No family planning. No, how are we competing?
Absolutely no competition. And are you mentioning the picture in Tiaty, or are you speaking?
No. I'm the member of parliament for Tiaty. I'm not speaking for myself. I don't speak for myself.
So that's a representation of how things are happening there.
Yes, I don't speak for myself. I speak for the people of Tiaty. And that is the average number of domestic endowments.
So does that mean that with the devolution, as you're saying, the health services have improved, and also the cultural practices, marrying many wives, and of course, again, not having very conscious limit of how many children one would have. How do you see the population of Tiaty maybe in the next 10 years when we are doing another census in 2029?
Yeah, I expect Tiaty in the next 10 years will be, we are now at 153. I think it is very high chances of either doubling or even tripling.
Doubling, tripling. So tripling, we are talking of 450,000.
Yes.
In 10 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It's crazy. I'm telling you. And given the fact that these figures, like I said, are a bit suppressed, okay, and we expect now with more infrastructure, we expect the implementation of equalization fund moving forward. So we will do more roads. So we'll be able to access the more rugged terrains of Tiaty where the census clerks were not able to access. We'll be able to access the people of Tiaty who have immigrated into Turkana County and into Samburu County, and also those who had migrated to Laikipia. Okay, so it's generally, even among us, the Kalenjin nation, the largest population, of course, the people with unassailable lead in terms of population is the Kipsigis. Okay, rightly so, because of the title Kipsigis. but then followed by the Nandi, and then the Pokot is number 3 among us, the Kalenjin. So I expect we will overtake the Nandi in a very short time.
Wow. So now the
Kipsigis is unassailable.
You've projected the numbers, the population numbers, and that brings me to my next question. The current rate of voter registration vis-a-vis the national politics. You've acknowledged the fact that Tiaty is a homogeneous constituency. Politically, you would go into one political line and you would make a decision in unison. What does it mean to the politics of the country now that Baringo also has a presidential candidate?
Well, we are the home of KANU. We expect, we are very happy, first of all, as members of KANU, that for the first time in 20 years, we shall have a presidential candidate. I walk tall as a member of KANU. I'm very proud. And we do not just have another candidate. We have pedigree. Pedigree.
I like your confidence.
Okay, pedigree. Hey, wewe. Mtoto wa Simba ni Simba. So we are very proud as members of KANU, and I'm very proud personally as a personal friend to Senator Gideon Moi, and as a resident of Baringo. I'm very proud that it's not easy to get somebody to that level of a presidential candidate. It's not easy. So as to now, what we expect KANU will form part of the larger coalition that we are building. Already we are in One Kenya Alliance, and we are negotiating with other like-minded political organizations like ODM, Jubilee, and others who are like-minded. And we expect to, in my estimation, we expect to build a very formidable political juggernaut in the next few months. I believe February is key.
I was seeing the governor for Nakuru saying that January is when the wedding will happen.
Yeah, January is January. We know, January has 45 days.
Yeah.
All the Christmas hangovers and school fees and problems like that. People might be having a little too many problems to talk about politics in January. That's what I'm saying, safely February.
Well, you're talking about the national politics, and you seem to have some level of confidence that the Pokot community, who dominate Tiaty and West Pokot, with the homogeneous approach to your politics as a community. There was a time you were telling some of the MPs in Baringo that in 2022 you will come begging at the gates of State House. Do you think that will happen with the current infiltration of the UDA, the new party?
The give credit to where it's due. The wheelbarrow people are trying. I must give credit to them. They're really trying, but under very difficult circumstances. They are our friends. We wish them very well.
Yeah.
But I think the die is cast in terms of who will lead this nation and who will not. It's all written in the stars. So, there is working hard.
Yeah.
And working smart. What I see the wheelbarrow people doing is working very hard. But for us, I think we are working smart. And it's a matter of conjecture how you look at it. But I foresee a situation where this time in the Supreme Court, someone else will be on the other side, and we'll be on the other side. So.
Well, the confidence that you have that KANU will form the next government is quite, I think everyone should have such confidence in what they do. Really.
Let me correct you. It's not only KANU. I said KANU, and we are coming together to form a big coalition, a coalition of the willing, a coalition of like-minded political organizations. We are likely, from what I'm seeing happening, we are likely to come up with a party of parties, like what happened in 2002, the National Rainbow Coalition. So I think I see history repeating itself. And so that's how I see 2022 happening.
There was a time you had said BBI would turn out to be a political party. Do you think you made the wrong prophecy?
No, I'm right in what we are doing now. This is BBI in everything but name.
Azimio la Umoja.
Yes, well, all of that. Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Alliance, it's the same. It's all about one. Yeah.
Well, you're a first-term MP. Where do you get all this confidence and the feeling that you would even control the politics of Rift Valley? There was a time you're telling the president to even overhaul the cabinet. We can see a few changes here and there. You were telling Mheshimiwa Cheptumo, your neighbor here in Baringo North, that one of the days you'll be coming to beg at State House for you to open the gate. Where do you get all this confidence?
Cheptumo is already knocking. I'm told he wants to be senator for Baringo, so he's knocking on the doors of Tiaty already. So that he has to knock properly and knock really hard. So, well, I don't know. I'm a first-time MP, but I'm not a greenhorn politician. Remember, I was your speaker for Baringo for 5 years, and and I've worked with politics all my life. Yeah, so I'm not, people give a lot of credence to that elective position at that time, but we have been around for a while. Even my background in journalism and working in the Parliament of East Africa, having gone to university in Uganda, worked in Tanzania, in the entire region. So I'm not your ordinary first-time politician, a first-time member of Parliament.
Well, we'll come back to ask as of whether you have the confidence of coming back or not. But before that, maybe I should give you the current standing numbers for the voter registration per constituency in Baringo County. And towards the end also we'll be asking Mheshimiwa to give us, maybe to suggest to other leaders on how best they can increase these numbers. Because at the end of the day, I think it's about the constituency and growing into the county. And at the moment, Tiaty is leading at 5,051 votes, new voters, with a target. Again, as a target, they are at 55%. By Tuesday, we are talking of Tiaty should have registered 9,259 voters. That is the target according to the IBC. Baringo Central is coming second at 2,714. That translates to 22%. Baringo South, that is Marigat, is coming at the third place. That is 2,287, which translates to 22%. Mogotio is at 18%. That is 1,873. Baringo North, 2,017 at 15%. And Eldama Ravine, 2,996. Which may look high, but in terms of percentage and the target new voter population, it is lying at 17%. With this, you notice that there are some constituencies that Tiaty has tripled. Like Baringo North is at 15%. If you multiply 15 by 3, that is 45. So it's even more than 3 times the number. So in general, Tiaty is doubling the rest of the constituencies. And the total number of newly registered voters in Baringo is 16,938. And majorly, this is a youthful population because these are people who recently acquired their IDs. And the county totals is at 23%. One of the reasons why we are having this conversation is part of our role as a media to push for people to be engaged in their leadership. And you can only be engaged, or rather in making a decision on who will become your leader, if you have a voter's card. So you still have another 7 days to get yourself that weapon, or maybe the tool that you would use to participate in making the decision on who becomes your governor, your senator, women rep, the MP, and the MCA. Baringo County has a target of 73,709 voters. A population that would even be enough to make someone a governor or a senator. In the previous elections, the Senate seat was won at around 100,000. The governor, I think they were fighting between 80 and the other one trailing at 60,000. So you can see how those numbers look like. And to you, Mheshimiwa Kamket, what would you tell these other constituencies? You've seen how the numbers are very low. Like Eldama Ravine, we would say they should have been the people with the highest numbers because they're a bit exposed. Maybe Baringo North Kidogo, we can say it's as remote as Tiaty. But again, Tiaty is remote and they are giving huge numbers. What can you tell the leadership and the professionals in the area?
Well, I do not really want to speak about my colleagues' leadership out of respect.
Yeah.
But they can copy from what we've been doing.
Yeah.
I do not know. I have not been to Ravine for a while, so I do not know whether the leadership of Ravine are present in Ravine or leadership of Baringo North are present at home.
Yeah.
I do not know about them.
Yeah.
I see my neighbor Chef Songol always on some social media here outside the assembly. I wonder when he goes to Bartabwa. But they can copy from what we've been doing. You know, all, like I said earlier, human beings and populations or a people want to be close to their leadership.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing all along.
Yeah.
But well, Tiaty is remote. Tiaty is remote
In quotes.
in
Why?
quotes, but the youthful population is way ahead of us. I can assure you. Even those boys and girls who have not gone to school, you give them this phone, this smartphone, and in a few minutes they know how to use it. You understand? And other gadgets. So I do not understand how the current young people have become so techno savvy, and they will tell you what's happening in the country. When you find them in the evenings, when they are after looking after their goals and whatever, they start giving you political analysis of the country. They can even predict what's, you know. So all I can say is that there is no magic other than being present and sensitizing the people.
All right. You've heard. It's about being present with the people and sensitizing these people to do exactly what needs to be done. It may not just be about voter registration. It could be any other exercise that involves the mwananchi and that would lead to the progressive growth of your area of leadership. We were talking of Silale at 98%. Apparently, that was the figure as of 25th. As of 26th, it has already surpassed the target. The target was 735. They are at 743. So they are already 101%. That is the leading ward among the 30 wards in Baringo County. The list of the wards which has registered the lowest percentage is Lembus Perkera at 12%. In Baring, that is in Eldama Ravine, and again in the county overall. I'll look at the best performing ward in every constituency. So in Eldama Ravine, we have Lembus Perkera doing a low of 12%, and we have 21%, that is Ravine ward, the ward that is covering Eldama Ravine town. Maybe that is due to the urban and also the closeness of the kit to the people. In Mogotio, we are talking of 17%, Kisanana ward, that is the lowest, and the highest is 20%, Mogotio ward. Sorry, that is Emining ward. Then to Baringo South, we are looking at Marigat at 18%, it is the lowest, and 26% Mukutani. Interestingly, that is another remote and vast area, and the numbers, the percentage is relatively higher compared to the rest of the wards. In Baringo Central, we are looking at Kabarnet at 33%, and the lowest being Kapropita ward at 16%. Baringo North, Mheshimiwa just mentioned one of his colleague legislators, but at the county level. Bartabwa ward is at 15%, but there is one which is also a bit lower than that. That is Kabartonjo at 13%. Kipsaraman, Saimo Kipsaraman, 12%. They are on the same level with Lembus Perkera ward of Eldama Ravine. And finally, we are on Tiaty. We had mentioned 101%, that is Silale. And the lowest in Tiaty is Koloa at 29%. The lowest in Koloa would be the highest if it was to be compared with other wards in Baringo County. So you can see how the numbers are. Mheshimiwa Kamket has given you his thoughts on how best we can do this mobilization. Well, we are done with the conversation on the voter registration and such like. Now, can we look at the politics of Tiaty? You're a first-time MP. How do you compare yourself as an MP at the moment and the previous leadership in your performance, and how do you see yourself in the next 9 months now that we are going into an election?
You know, it's very hard for someone to for me to talk about myself, I expect
Yeah.
the people of Tiaty to rate me. But if you read Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, there was this lizard that jumped from a very high tree and it fell and it didn't hurt itself. It looked around, there was no one praising it. It started clapping for itself. So perhaps I would take that cue from that story. We have tried in the circumstances, like I said before.
Yeah.
This has been a very challenging term of parliament. First of all, we spent almost 6 months in the repeat election. If you remember, going for repeat election, going to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
We wasted a lot of time before we could get down cracking. And then we worked a little bit. After that, we got into the COVID situation, which has been a massive problem for the entire world. So we are not an exception. But in the circumstance, as I'm saying, we've tried in the circumstance, and then we have had this stupid thing called operation. That when the police failed in their duties, they come and do foolish things in terms of trying to, in the name of bringing security to the people. But overall, in the circumstances, I think we have tried, because our mandate is representation, oversight, and legislation. In terms of representation and development, for that matter, I think we've tried. I'm very proud that for the first time we have serious institutions in Tiaty. We have the first medical training college students admitted now to school in Chemolingot. KMTC Chemolingot campus is up and running. We have over 40 students, first students. We expect by March next year to be admitting the first students of nursing. Wow. It's an amazing achievement in my view. We are expecting to admit the first batch of students at North Rift Technical Training Institute, Chemolingot. It's one of the biggest in the region. In fact, we will be proposing, we've held a meeting with the Minister of Education and their technical people. We want to propose that institution be turned into the Technical University of Baringo.
So that sounds like you're taking
university to Baringo, to Tiaty, naturally.
After the long fight as of where it would be situated.
Yes, we do not have to fight over it. We have the biggest institution in Chemolingot. So, and we are in negotiation with the Minister of Education. I think we are making progress in terms of that. We have the first, amazingly, the place with the highest population of registered voters is Silale. We have built the first secondary school in Silale.
The first secondary school?
In Silale.
In a whole ward?
Since independence.
Wow.
Yes. And amazingly, that's the place that has the highest number of registered voters in the county. So newly registered voters. That's what I mean. So we've done. It's almost complete now through a sponsorship from Kenya Pipeline Corporation. And we are very proud of that. It was of course, through the influence of our senator. We are in the process. The Kenha is in the process of finishing the tarmac from Maron all the way to Kolowa, Tot, and Marich to connect with the road to Turkana. So very soon we'll be having all the Turkana coming through Tiaty, Marigat, and Nakuru, instead of going through Kitale, Loret, Mau Summit, all that. They'll reduce their travel time by the travel distance by about 100 and something kilometers. You know, And so that road is very crucial for us as people of Baringo. I've built a new, since I came in, I've built 8 new secondary schools. 8 new up and running secondary schools.
Can you name them?
Yes, I can name them. We've done Tiaty High School in Tirioko. We've done Kipnai Secondary School in Koloa. We've done Maron Secondary School in Ripco. We've done Chemolingo Day Secondary School.
I think I saw that you were in a uniform.
Yes, Chemolingo Day Secondary School in Chemolingo. We've done Silale High School. We've done Korosi High School in Silale High School in Silale. We've done Korosi High School in Tangle Bay. Yeah. We've done Amaya Secondary School. Actually, I forgot. We have Churo Day Secondary School. Oh. Hello.
Pongezi. I think to me, I think that's a milestone, being a resident of Baringo, despite being in the media. At the end of the day, you would want to appreciate some of the things that have been done. And maybe I can throw this question to you. What do you think would be the impact of those new schools amid this conversation about insecurity and also the literacy level in Tiaty?
You know, education is the leveler. Yeah. Is the ultimate equalizer. Yeah. Of all human beings. Yeah. In whatever we say, whatever we do, ultimately, it's going to be education that will change any society. Yeah. And we are very happy with progress that we are making. We are making steady, slow but steady progress. Yeah. We believe now with more funds and with more, there is an amendment on the floor of the House to change the CDF Act in order to give more resources to like it was before, to bigger constituencies and that kind of stuff. You can imagine. Let me give you an example of Kamukunji. Kamukunji constituency is 5 kilometers square.
But dense population.
No, I'm just saying
5 kilometers square.
It's 5 kilometers square. Yet is 5,000 kilometers square.
And you still get an equal
get
share.
The same amount.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking about dense population, the population in Isli and in Kamukunji constituency is not only they are not the people of that constituency. Those are Kenyans from all over the world, and they get services from NMS.
True.
They get services from national government. They get services from everybody else. So it's a very unfair comparison. Yeah. So I'm happy that there is that amendment act, and it's getting popularity amongst members of parliament. So as we get more resources, we hope, and with the equalization fund, I believe it's very strongly in the equalization fund. And with the new administration, I believe that we will form the next government also. My coalition will form the next government. I hope I'll be in position of influence to influence more resources to go to these places that have been marginalized. So that now we bring these people up to speed with the rest of Kenyans in terms of access to resources and access to facilities in order for them to be able to get out of nasty scenarios that young men and women are forced into criminality to survive. Yeah.
And now, with the progress that you're looking at introducing or rather pushing, you're praying that you be at a position of influence in the next government. Do you think, can you make a commitment to maybe end this banditry issue through development? Is that something you can commit?
That's exactly what we are doing. That's exactly what we are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not have to say that I'm committing to, because that's what we are doing already.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
we are working day and night.
Out there, everybody knows that Kamket is the villain. You are the person, people view you as the person who may be the antagonist of the progress into achieving peace in Baringo. You've given some progress, 8 new secondary schools and a number of them coming up. There's the Amaya secondary school, which has been funded by, is it World Bank?
That is the Amaya boarding primary school, one of the biggest in the country.
Yes.
That's different from what we have done as Amaya secondary school.
So looking at such progress, I'm sure anybody who's watching would see a different perspective of the progress that we are making.
There are people who try to paint others in the way they want. They create lies, then they believe in their own lies, propagate those lies, propagate those stories. I can't change them, okay? Because they are the ones building those stories, believing those stories, propagating those stories. But I know myself. My people of Tiaty know who I am.
Yeah.
Okay? And from the statistics, little statistics I've given you, I'm sure you already wonder. And these are facts on the ground. From those what we continue to do, you can see for yourself that I'm a very progressive individual, and I am focused. You've seen, I was the first member of parliament to bring a very credible and serious proposal to amend the constitution. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Out of which BBI was born. 80% of what I proposed in my constitutional amendment bill is what was contained in BBI. Never mind the legal processes that were challenged.
Yeah.
But I was the first member of parliament, despite the fact that I'm first term, to come up with comprehensive amendment, proposed amendment to the constitution, and I can assure you, in the fullness of time, most of those things that I brought will see the light of day. What does that tell you about me? Why am I the person they are describing? I'm not that person. They are trying to build another Kamket. I'm not that Kamket. I am Kamket, the progressive politician. And listen, as chairman committee on delegated legislation in parliament currently, if you study what we have achieved as that committee, it's amazing in terms of the regulations we've been able to come up with. Even the most problematic regulations, the equalization fund regulations, nobody was making progress. But when we took over and brought everybody on board, brought the Council of Governors, brought the Treasury, brought the Senate, we were able, as a committee on delegated legislation, to come up with hybrid regulations that have now been adopted by everyone. Okay? And through my leadership. Hello? Is that the Kamket they are talking about? No. I think these are people create their own stories. They believe in their own stories, propagate their own stories, but they're not my story. Well, my story is what I'm telling you.
To summarize that, what can you tell them? What can you tell these people whom you think they are creating lies and building a different picture of Kamket, whom the people of Tiaty don't even know?
I have said it before, that we are focused. I am focused as a politician, as a leader. I am focused. I shall not be bothered. I shall not be distracted. I shall not be swayed. We are focused. We are looking ahead, forward. We are marching forward in terms of, in the path we have chosen to transform our society and to be part of the big players in the politics of the Republic of Kenya. We will not get tired. We will not be distracted.
All right. We wish you well on that. And maybe to finalize on your leadership agenda as a MP for Tiaty, there's a lot that you've mentioned that you've achieved within that short period of time, as you've said. Do you feel you are confident enough that you'd come in for a re-election and be the next MP again for Tiaty?
I have a lot of respect to the people, for the people.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for the people of Tiaty. I respect them a lot.
Yeah.
I will humble myself again before them. I'll show them my scorecard. I'll ask them to judge. If they give me a second chance, so be it. We continue. Yeah, but I believe they can see it for themselves.
Well, finally, KANU UDA in Baringo. Do you think Tiaty will be homogeneous this time around as well?
In Baringo or Tiaty?
Let's talk about Tiaty in particular.
There is no UDA in Tiaty. There is no wheelbarrow in Tiaty. Yeah, we hear about it elsewhere, but it's not. We don't know about it in Tiaty. Yeah. So, as a challenging man, as a serious Pokot man, how would I carry a wheelbarrow? I mean, how? A serious Pokot man.
It's just a symbol.
No, how do I bring myself to carry a wheelbarrow? I mean, you know, some of these things it's about your it's about your mindset. You see, preaching poverty instead of preaching progress is retrogressive. It's a warped economic model. Because I liked what Kirai to say the other day. But when you're talking about carrying a wheelbarrow, you're carrying a wheelbarrow to whose mjengo? So unapeleka kwa mjengo ya tajiri. Bila tajiri ya kujenga nyumba, hiyo wheelbarrow unapeleka wapi? So we have been very clear to our people that as a serious challenging man, we will, that idea of a wheelbarrow is a wrong message to our people. Well, it's a wrong message to our youth.
How about
it's a wrong message. It's unfortunate.
Well, yeah, fair enough. You've given your thoughts on that. So Tiaty is a KANU zone. That's according to Mheshimiwa William Kamket, and you would expect another 8-0 as he says, or rather as it happened in 2017. In 2017, Tiaty produced all elected leaders under the party KANU, and Kamket, Mheshimiwa Kamket here, is confident that a repeat would happen again in 2022.
We said our slogan then was tarehe 8 mwezi wa 8 8-0.
At 8
now this time it's going to be tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 8-0.
Okay.
Again.
Well, we wish you well on that. Now, just to finalize, maybe on this issue of security, there's a point that you said some of the decisions that the government made, like the operation, you said they may not have been well informed. How is the situation like right now in Tiaty, and how do you see this issue of insecurity in the next 5 years?
First of all, I want to invite you to visit Kapedo tomorrow and see the biggest story of peace.
Tomorrow, that's
amongst peaceful coexistence among the Pokot and the Turkana. Just take your time tomorrow, the weekend. Just drive to Kapedo, Lomelo, Lopeitom. You will find Suguta Valley, the Valley of Peace. It's an amazing. When people are left to make their own decisions, they are not stupid. People may not have gone to school, but they are not stupid. So this thing they call operation is actually another word for admission of failure by government. Then they come and do things that are not very, very nice to the people. Yeah, but I'm happy some of those perpetrators are going to seek elective officers. We want to see how they are going to perform and where they come from.
So in 5 years, how do you see the security situation in Baringo? Like,
it's very hard to predict security because one criminal can disrupt the peace. We continue to pray for peace all the time.
All right.
Yeah.
So Kamket is committed to making peace in Baringo, as he says. That is Mheshimiwa Kamket. Maybe before we close, we can go through the comments, what people are saying. Dao, you're saying in the future, Tiaty will be a county. Do you think so?
We Tiaty, we call it Mighty Tiaty.
Why Mighty Tiaty?
Mighty Tiaty, because Tiaty is Tiaty. Okay?
Tiaty is Tiaty.
Tiaty is Tiaty, Mighty Tiaty. And we call it county number 48 already.
Okay.
Yes. We made the presentation to the commission that was going round. And we made the proposal for Tiaty to be a county on its own. We wanted to be county number 48. So we remain county number 48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jose, the Canadian, you're saying following well-spoken, Mheshimiwa, you are indeed a true leader. to your people. 2022 kura ni yako. Yeah, hayo ni maoni ya Jose. Mika Lochenia Kaptolelio. You're saying you're watching from Cabernet. Anasema kazi mzuri mheshimiwa. Generali ATG. You're saying Pokot spokesman mheshimiwa Kasait Kamket, hard-working MP in Kenya, 30 years strong. And that brings me to a question that I may have skipped. The fight between who is the kingpin among the Pokot people. How are you faring now? There was a time you ulitawazwa kuwa the elder and the spokesperson wa Pokot. Mnaendeleaje mkiwa na Governor Lonyangapuo?
That Governor Lonyangapuo is a sellout. He sold out. So he doesn't qualify to speak for the Pokot people anymore. Yeah, so it's not me. It's the elders who decided.
All right.
Yeah.
That is your opinion. Now, Ole Zambul Landari, you're saying they know. Okay, I think that's not coming out clearly. Tiffany Adams, that's also a general comment. Kodowski, you're saying tell Mheshimiwa that he is a 30-year bound MP. Hakuna nafasi. Seems like your supporters are here. Do you think you can make it to 30 divide 5, 6 terms? Can you manage?
No. That one we leave to God Almighty.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then finally, no one can suppress a community that has its vision clear. I think that is someone who is echoing your words about resilience and people coming out to be participatory in their kind of leadership. Well, Mheshimiwa, it's been a pleasure having you here. It's been an hour of conversation, and fair enough, we've gotten to know how Tiaty has managed to register the highest percentage in the country in terms of the continuous voter registration. And maybe we can only hope that IBC will increase, or rather will add more number of days. There was a report I was reading somewhere that they had a plan of 45 days, but they've just done 30. So should there be another 15 days, that would mean you still have an extra time to do your registration. And from us as Baringo News, we are very grateful for the support from the Center for Enhancing Democracy and Good Governance in Baringo County and other counties. ZGG is an NGO based in Nakuru, which is at the moment is pushing for open governance and community participation in the decision of who would be one of their leaders in the coming elections, that is 2022, and we wish to appreciate that. We also wish to appreciate the team that is acting, or rather they are behind the cameras, and the fundi wa mitambo. You've been watching it live, and there's a whole team that is working on making sure that you're getting the best of the signal, the best of the sound, and the best of the pictures. So maybe before we close, Mheshimiwa, what are your final words for the people of Baringo?
Since we are talking matters, elections and voter registration and politics of 2022 and beyond, I would like to tell my brothers and sisters from Baringo that let us try to tolerate each other. Where Baringo is a big county. We are a county of different communities, and what's important is peaceful coexistence. We continue to preach peace amongst our people. And we should never get tired of watering the tree of peace amongst the populations in Baringo. And two, that we watch Tiaty. Tiaty is the next big thing in Baringo. And let us all, we are all welcome to invest in Chemolingot. That was our city. You're all welcome to invest in Tangle Bay, an upcoming town in Tiaty, and also in Koloa. And then finally, let us remember that Gideon Moi, our own very son, is running for president of the Republic of Kenya. And we pray that he's picked as the coalition candidate. When that time comes, let us all rally behind him and remember that we are who we are because of one Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi.
Well, thank you for your time, Oshimiwa. The people of Baringo have heard you, and you've given your views. You've also gotten an opportunity to explain who Kamket is, and not the Kamket that the media or the people get, or rather have, based on the alleged painting of a different brand of Kamket. And from us as Baringo News, we are very grateful for taking your time to watch, and we are giving you, or rather, this is one of the first shows that we are doing on location. We would be calling it Baringo News on the Go, and expect more of such conversations among the people and the leaders on the ground. Even as we head to the elections, our strive is to give you an opportunity as a viewer, as one of our audience, to participate in open governance. And with the partners that we do have in place, like the Center for Enhancing Democracy and Good Governance, CEDGG, we would be able to bring you more of such, and to ensure that you have an opportunity to give your views. Thank you. I've been your host, Komen SK. Have a good night.
Thank you.